Um, yeah, I mean, drove down, did a great job in first possession. Obviously when I got a touchdown, it was good, and kind of slowed down. Kind of they started changing up a little bit, a couple of things, in the run game, and then pass game wise, we're just struggling out there a little bit, and is what it is. Offense struggled, and we just didn't get on top tonight, so it sucks, but we're all right.
Jalen, can you talk about starting the game at quarterback? Obviously, you've played there, here and there, a few snaps here and there, but the entire first quarter, and what that was like, and what was the game plan going in?
Yeah, it wasn't expected. Obviously, I was just trying to do my best to be ready. He came and told me, and warm us that we're gonna start out and that formation and stuff, and told him, all right, yeah, we ran the ball really well in the first couple of runs, and then after that, we kind of slowed up a little bit, and then got it back again in the back half of the game. So I mean, obviously it's cool, big quarterback, but we didn't come on top, so that's all that matters. So it sucks, but props to the O-line. They did a great job. Everyone on the team did a good job, but especially in the run game, did a really good job. So I have a lot them to thank.
When you look at the second half, I mean, do you take some pride in the way you guys did fight in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't going to quit. Obviously, we could have just sat there and, we could have let them put up as many points as you can. Obviously, Trey went out there and got a big interception. We're able to score some points. So I don't think it's in anyone's DNA on this team to give up and quit and just, be done and, lose as bad as, UVA did a couple years ago. So, it sucks. And, it's 2 years in a row now that we've lost. But, obviously, we got to work, and if we decide to come back, whoever the situation may be, we'll be ready to go.
Jordan, as you have a chance to kind of step back and digest everything, what's going to stand out to you most about this team this year?
No, not really. No, I haven't really had a chance to sit back and digest anything. I'm just embarrassed and mad as shit. I mean, I don't know. No, I haven't really digested or thought about anything. I'm pissed off.
Jordan, from a coverage or just like an approach standpoint to that first half, what did you think was kind of not working to the way that you wanted, or what were you trying to do?
They were getting a lot of stacks and bunches, kind of playing with our rules. You know what I'm saying? They were well prepared in that aspect. But at the end of the day, we as players have to adjust. That's not on coaches. That's on us, and we got to make some of those plays. They made them. We didn't. That's why they won the game.
It felt like, they had a hard time getting to the QB, which we kind of knew going in was going to be hard to get to Noah Fafita. He's not been sacked a lot. Was the pressure not getting to him, was that harder on the secondary to, get the coverage, or was that allowing for a lot of time?
I mean, if you're not getting pass rushes, it's hard for anybody to cover. But at the same time, if you're not covering, the rush is not going to get there. You know what I'm saying? They need time, too. It goes hand in hand. It's not on the D-line. We got to make plays. At the end of the day, in the secondary, we got to make plays, and we didn't. That's why we didn't win the game.
Trey, this defense has had really high highs and kind of low lows, and the consistency hasn't been what you guys have hoped for. What do you think are the main factors in that?
I got to say just execution. There's things that are put in place to where we're set to make plays, and we just got to execute the plays. Yeah, every call is not going to be like the best call for every single play. That's part of football. But at the end of the day, just executing what we know, what we should be doing. And just from that, man, that's where the ups and downs come from, just doing our 111.
And then, Jalen, I mean, with Jaden getting back in, I mean, obviously, how do you feel he settled into the game as it went on?
I mean, he did okay. I mean, obviously, it's hard to not play in 9 games and, just come in and playing the biggest rivalry game, of your life. So, props to him for, preparing all week and doing a good job. Obviously, I mean, like I said, it's hard. I mean, it'd be hard for any quarterback, especially a true freshman, to go do that, after not playing in 9 games. So, props to Jane, did a really good job. Obviously made some really good throws. Obviously, you see what he's going to be able to do in the future. He's a great quarterback. He's definitely settled in. He did a good job keeping his composure and stuff. So, yeah, props to Jaden, but, I mean, it's a hard situation. So, and he did a good job handling the adversity and do what he can.
Trey, you had an interception in the second half. Start to turn momentum a little bit. Tell me, what did you see that caused the interception to happen?
Well, we had a pressure coming for the quarterback. They had lined up in Indy. We checked to our coverage. Obviously, the lineman full slide, so both the linebackers dropped out, and we knew that he was going to stare down his receiver. So I melted fast coming back across the formation and then just made a play. I seen green, but you know, when you 22, you kind of get old when you take a lot of hits. So, but I did see a lot of green, and I was glad that my boys was up there blocking for me.
With kind of the way that the first half goes, first half went? What was kind of the message in the locker room, especially on the defensive end, to be able to come out and finish the game and kind of slow them down at least a little bit on what they did offensively?
I think the biggest thing was just coming out with fight. In the past, we've kind of settled down or laid down, I'd say, with some of the teams that probably been up by two or more scores. So the biggest thing was to come out and fight. You know, that's not the type of team that we are. That's not the type of character of men that we have. So we relayed the message that we're going to come out, we're going to fight no matter the score, after score, and we're going to play ball. We're going to play football. And for the seniors and for the guys that this is their last time on the field, we're going to give it all, whether it be risking limb to leg to arm. We're going to risk it all for those guys. And being one of those guys, I was willing to risk it all for my boys. So just being able to show that fight and show that we're not a team that's just going to lay down.
Just kind of building off what you're saying there, Trey, and Jordan and Jalen, for you guys too. You're veteran players, but this is like the first year of a culture, of a new culture. So like, how does that feel when it comes in a season of disappointment, but what you guys are trying to build for the future?
I can say for myself, I've been a part of 5 different cultures. And this is the first culture I genuinely bought into, whether it was the weight room, whether it was the playbook on defense, whether it was special teams, and just believing in what Coach echoes every day. And I love this culture. I wouldn't trade any place for where I am right now. And I love the guys that are in that room. I love the coaches. I love these players. As you can see, these players are dedicated to each other. You know what I mean? This not just, it's more than football. So for me, the culture that Coach has built is only going to get stronger and bigger. And I'm just saying, for the future, man, it's going to be something to see.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what he said, I mean, what's the saying? Like, was it Rome wasn't built in a day or something? So it's just like, you know, it's tough. You know, I mean, when you go back and you kind of look at, you know, Coach Dillingham's past for a Florida State team that, you know, struggled. You know, when they staff first got there, and then now they're ranked 5th in the country. You know, so it takes time. You know, and a bunch of those players at the time were freshmen, and you know, we're kind of right now just trying to build that up, and you know, obviously get to where we want to be. You know, I think everyone did a great job. You know, obviously, you know, shout out to the seniors and just everybody that, you know, that's played their heart out today, and even the young guys that came out there and played for the seniors and played for all of us. You know, everyone did a good job. And obviously these two veterans that I play with, you know, obviously Trey 1 year and Jordan 3. I mean, it's been awesome, and no one quit. Everyone played hard. You know, obviously it sucks to lose this one, but, you know, obviously that's what the offseason's for. It gives people motivation. So, you know, yeah, but Coach Dillingham and everybody's doing a great job. There's no one that's not bought in. If you're not bought in, then they're free to leave. So, you know, that's kind of the mentality going in with, but I think we did a good job.
Hey Trey, Jake Seymour, Sun Devil Source. Dillingham has said that this seniors class has to kind of build a foundation for success down the road. Just from your perspective, as someone who's been around 5 different cultures, what are the necessary steps that need to continue to happen to find success in the next few years?
I'd say grit. Being around a lot of coaches and having coaches come in and out of a program, it can mess up a lot of the players' thought process and mental. So I think a lot of the grit that the guys have, that's something that Coach brought in, and that competitiveness. That's something that our team has been built on, and something that we've kept throughout this whole season. You know, through the ups and downs, obviously we don't like losing, but with his mindset and the aggressiveness that he has, it trickles down to us, and we got to be wanting to go out and fight and not just lay down, and be willing to punch back if you get punched first. So that grit and that fight, that's something that I love with Coach Dillingham, that he said with us in the spring in an off season.
Anything else? Got time for one more. All right. Thank you guys.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, we'll start with Michelle up front. Chris.
Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. Kenny, can you walk us through your plans for quarterback? Because we thought it was going to be Jaden, and then they were both going to play, and then that didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't want to get too into one piece of it. Obviously, Jaden was going into the week as the starter. And then, actually it was reported on. He was late to a meeting, and we have policies. And one thing we're not going to do is I'm not going to be a coward. If I say there's a standard for the program, there's going to be a standard for the program. And whether that hurts us or doesn't hurt us, that's the foundation we're trying to set. And then Trenton was going to go, and he got sick. So his brother started puking, and then he started puking. So we tried to get him back, but he just said, I'm sick, I'm puking, I can't go. So we then went into the Wildcat mold there to start it up.
How soon before the game was it that he said he couldn't go?
On the field.
Like right, literally, as you're
No. During pregame.
Oh, okay.
So we knew. So we got to be able to put together a pretty scripted drive from the Hellcat deal, and try to put our players in the best position to be successful.
Kenny, Chris Cartman, son of a source, they kind of exploited you in the secondary with their approach in the first half. What were some of the factors that you saw there?
Yeah, we couldn't create a pass rush with 4. And if you can't create a pass rush with 4 and you play good wideouts, it's hard. So all year, pass rush has been one of our top things. Early in the year, we were able to scheme up more pass rush pressures. But at the end of the year, teams just said, no, we'll just let 2 or 3 guys get into route combinations, and we'll max pro you and play that game. So, we got to be able to try to rush the pass with 4, and then those wideouts are good, and, they got open. It sounds boring and simple, but simple as that. You give a good quarterback enough time to send 2 NFL wideouts down the field, and you can't hit them, they're going to get open. So we got to go back to work, try to get better in the offseason, and we will, and go win next year.
Kenny Hodorobino, Devil's Digest. I know you talked all year long about the buying into the culture and what you are trying to establish. You're obviously not one bit, satisfied with the performance and the result, but the fight that you showed in the second half, is that maybe just another testament of the culture and the fight of this team, never wavering?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't take this job and expect to go win 8 games. This was, yes. So the buy-in, what we're doing, the direction we're going, 100%. I mean, it's the direction that needs to be headed. It's what needed to be done this year. Even though it's not fun to lose games like this, it's not fun for all this stuff. Sometimes it's needed. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to bounce back up. And where we were as a program, in the direction we're going, I have 1,000% confidence that the ball's bouncing up, not down. But I do believe we finally hit rock bottom. I think everybody knows that. And then once you hit it, you start going up. And I believe that's what we're doing.
Coach Michael Carrasino, Pitchfork Lunch. I know you talked about obviously guys battling all year, but to focus on a guy like Joey Ramos, on a senior day, just obviously he's moving on, but what has he meant to this team and just the grit that he showed all year? Oh, yeah, he's been battling through, God knows what, just to fight. So he's a competitor. He's a fighter. We went out there, we ran the ball pretty well today. The game got away from us, so we couldn't continue to run the ball like that, which was unfortunate. But we did the whole line, getting Sione back was really good. We had, 7 going into the game, which was, a bonus for us, to be honest. And I thought those guys played hard, leading with Joey.
Sammy Newt, Devil's Digest. Coach Trey Brown came in here and said that this was the one culture he felt he could buy into in the 5 or so cultures he's been a part of. How important is it to you that you got through to a veteran player that has experienced a lot, and his culture and your culture was represented? Yeah, like I told the guys, I said, everybody out of this room is going to look at this year and they'll be like, oh, it's a failure. Oh, that's one of the worst junior and senior classes that have ever come through ASU. And I said, but the people in this room
are going to look at this room, and I'm going to look at this room as you guys come back as the people who set the foundation for where you're going. And when you guys come back and watch us play in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 20 years, you guys are going to get to say, we were the ones who had to drag people to be there 5 minutes early. We were the ones who had to say, yes, you have to sit somebody because he was late to something. We were the ones who made the sacrifices. And that's what I told him is, proud of the group for being the people who started to lay the foundation. And even though the outside world won't appreciate it, I do.
Hey, Kenny, what do the next couple weeks kind of look like for you and the staff in terms of reflecting and learning maybe from this year and then starting to turn the page?
Yeah, I have exit meetings with all the players and staff starting Monday. So 180, 190 meetings, whatever that plays out to be for the next 4 days. And then fundraise. Like, I can go recruit. It's cool. I'm going to go fundraise because that's what the name of the game is nowadays. So what are we doing? I'm going to go and fundraise. Staff's going to go out and recruit players. I'll go out and recruit some players, but I'm recruiting people who want this place to win as well, and that has nothing to do with players. And that's one of the biggest factors in college football right now. And you know, that's my job as the head coach. It's not just the coach. It's not just to lead a culture. It's not just to get people to graduate. It's not just to have the highest GPA they've ever had here. The first spring we were here, it's not just that. It's all inclusive. And the longer I'm the head coach here in year 2 and 3, there are no excuses. There's never excuses because that's where college football is different than the NFL. It's different because you pick everything that happens in your program you're in control of. So when we're in year 2 and we're in year 3, when you're in year 4, everything is 100% a reflection of what I've allowed to happen. And that starts with donors and fundraising and getting people involved. So I got to go do that this week.
Tia Reed, Crown Guy Sports Network. Coach, what were some of the adjustments that you guys made on the defensive side of the ball in the second half that allowed you to maybe slow them down a little bit, maybe bring a little bit of morale back?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think our guys just kept fighting. The calls were the same. A few more, pressures, single backer pressures to the back a little bit to maybe cut down the backside of the zone or squeeze it with the backside end, which hit a few times, which was a positive for us. But, so I would say more 5-man pressures just because we didn't get home in the first half with the 4-man rush. So, if you can't get home with 4-man rush and you can't cover 7 with 4, or my fault, 4 with 7, right, then there's an issue. And those wideouts are good. They run fast, and they get crossers on you vertically down the field. So we had to make an adjustment to try to pressure a little bit more.
Coach Caleb Campetto, Devil's Digest. From the final whistle to when you stepped in here right now, has there been anything distinctive of it's already caught your eye that starting Monday that things are going to start getting moving again and things are just going to start to take a step forward and get back to work?
Yeah, the guys that want to come back to be a part of the program next year, you can just see it. You can see it. They're not wavering in terms of the direction we're going. They know the direction's set right. They believe in the direction, and they're like, okay, this is what it takes. Like what we did this last year, all right, it wasn't good enough, so let's get better. And they're going to help us bring players into the program to help us be better. So that's what I noticed after the game is there was a lot of guys that are pissed off, that don't know what it looks like yet, but we're learning what it looks like and what it takes. And that takes time, and it sucks. It's not fun. I keep saying it. It's miserable. Like, you think I like coming up here and talk about how we just lost Territopa Cup? It's miserable. But what are you going to do? Go back to work. It's part of the process. It sucks, but it is what it is. We're going to get that thing back. And when we get it back, it's going to be in a home that's built right.
Doug Franz Unplugged, WTSMTV.com. Kenny, you mentioned fundraise. You are from here. You know everything about this school. You started off by saying activate the Valley. How would you rate how the Valley did in year 1, and how much effort, work do you need to put in to get 2024 what you want it to be?
Yeah, I think I'm happy with the fans, with the support from that standpoint. I think, in the last 2 weeks it's gotten better. But, at the end of the day, it's a tough deal because the Valley, I'm from here, so I can say anything I want about the Valley, right? Because I'm one of them. I'm talking about myself, is we're front runners, right? We love watching winners. Well, the hard part is in college athletics, right? What comes first? The support comes first. Unfortunately, in pro sports, the support doesn't have to come before the wins, right? You can just jump on board when the Diamondbacks go play the season they played. When the Suns just go on a run, you can just jump on board. You can't do that in college athletics. The support is what allows you to ride the wave. So I think it got better than what it was in the prior years. But I think just the educating piece on what it takes to actually be a consistent winner in collegiate athletics, especially when you're in a metropolitan city. Everybody who's associated with ASU has to take a little more ownership of it because there's so many other things to do. Right? That's why metropolitan cities, I can't tell you the last time they won a national championship because there's so many other draws. If we want to get to where we go, we're heading in the right direction. The support's in the right direction. People are, in my opinion, getting there, but we just got to slowly get better and better and better. And that's why this is a process. I knew it was a process. But when we get there, when we get the support right, as we continue to build, when we continue to bring guys in this program who believe, as we establish the culture, once this place gets rocking, it'll never fall again.
Kenny, Jake Seymour, Sun Devil Source. You mentioned that this senior class is the one to kind of build a foundation. What are the other players have to do to kind of continue that movement and kind of finish off the house?
Yeah, well, we have the standards now for just how you operate and try to win. I think we have to bring guys into the program. They have to teach those guys the standards of what it looks like. We have to then get enough depth by bringing guys in that we can practice. You know, that was, if I take one thing away from this year, the most disappointing thing was the inability to practice in season. We didn't get any better. We got worse. And it just pains me to say that out loud, is our football team from week 6 or 7 got worse as the season progressed because we were so banged up we couldn't practice versus each other. And that's unfortunate because teams that I've been a part of take a lot of pride in practicing in season and getting better in season. And we just didn't have enough bodies to do that and then field a team, which is the unfortunate part. So hopefully we get back to work in spring. We understand the physicality it takes, carry that over in the fall, and then next fall our guys are physically ready to go through physical practices. And those physical practices will get us ready for fall so we can continue to build and be physical practices in fall camp. But that kind of takes time, I mean, in reality. So are some of these banged up? Is that because of the spring ball and the fall camp of physicality? Yeah, I think so. And did that help us in the first 6 to 7 weeks? I mean, other than one game, we played pretty good football in the first 6 to 7 weeks. Did we get banged up and tired and fatigued at the end of the year? Hell yes. Did that hurt us there? Yes. Foundation. It's the build, right? So you can't get mad because I do feel like we got fatigued at the end of the year and we got worn down and then we didn't get better because we couldn't practice. So a lot of negatives towards the end that are going to be fixed as we continue to build the roster and teach our guys how to practice and what it takes to practice at a high level.
Yeah, Ben Yates, Inferno Intel, like you said, there's a lot of negatives and some unfortunate things that happened throughout this season. But it being your first one, what are some positive things that you can take away with the highlights of your first season?
Yeah, I mean, the highlights of year one, we won the same amount of games we won last year, right? Through all the adversity that we faced, right? We didn't get worse. Through the craziest year I've ever been a part of, and I've coached Pop Warner. I've coached at a park 7 minutes from here. And we faced more adversity in this game than when the lights wouldn't turn on at the park and you had to practice in the dark, right? We faced more adversity than that. And our guys didn't flinch. You go in the locker room and you have guys saying, oh, we're in the right direction. We believe in the direction we're going. So all of those things are the main purpose of year one. The main goal of year one is to achieve buy-in, to set a direction, to set a course. And nowadays in college football, everybody has their own vision for what they want. And some people want to go to a place and win now. How quickly can I win right now? Because to be honest, they don't want to be there. Most coaches don't want to be at the job they have, right? They want to get another job. So they're going to do everything that, we have $2.5 million in NIL, spend it all right now, empty the bank load. I have to win this year so I can leave. That's how a lot of people operate. That is the opposite how we're operating here, because I want to build something that's sustainable. And even though that may hurt us early in the process, when it gets built, it's going to last. And it's painful to sit up here and lose. I hate it. But even worse than losing would be in 5 years from now, not having built it.
Coach, coming off of his 9-week absence, how do you feel you could grade Jaden Rashada's performance today? I know it's tough, kind of what he faced coming into this game.
Yeah, one thing that I'm really impressed, and he's better than what I thought he was off high school tape at pocket movements, like just the ability to move around in the pocket and feel the pocket. I think he's better than that than I was anticipating, and to see him in another game just move around. Were there some things that, like, he comes out the field and he's like, golly, yes, he's a freshman in the third start, right? But did he deserve to start? Yes. Was he ready to start? Yes. So he made a great throw at the end there. We didn't have procedural penalties with a freshman in the game. He operated the offense fairly well. Were there a few things, like I said, that he'd like to have back? Of course, every quarterback does, and he's going to learn from, like, the one interception he threw. The post safety is driving the climb now in one-eye defense, which they can do in man coverage because they're not in thirds. You see the guy down, home run post. But for him, that's a learning experience, because if it's cover 3, you're going to throw the climb all day off the action. Being able to recognize, safety's down, or, the nickel's attaching to the crosser. It's man, locate the post safety, he's down. Those things you can only get through just practice and reps. So I was happy with him. I mean, I'm happy with the direction he's gone. He's a Sun Devil. He's passionate about this place, and I have a lot of confidence in him moving forward.
Yeah, Zach Tipton, Burn City Sports. Coach, this is the final game of the Pac-12. And what have you learned from facing, Pac-12 offenses in this incredible conference this year that will help you going into the Big 12 against brand new teams that most of the players and you have never faced before?
A lot of good quarterbacks, a lot of good wideouts this year. I mean, this is arguably the best Pac-12 has been, in a long time, since the USC era of Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush, maybe. But I don't know if it was this deep. I think we faced a very, very, very difficult schedule when you truly look at it, because how deep the Pac-12 is. And I think that's only going to, callous us moving forward, which is a good thing. You don't want things easy. Nothing in life easy is good. You want things hard. You want things gritty. You want things to be difficult. You don't love these moments, but they're actually good for you. They're good to feel the pain. It's needed in order to get to where you want to go.